Welcome to Hanging Out with Robert, that's me. This video contains things that I encounter throughout the day. If for some reason I complete a task and you would like to see the details, you can click on the link in the description area below. This video also contains tips and tricks that I learned throughout the years. I plan on leaving this video accessible for about 30 days. After that, you can view it through my Patreon account. Thank you very much for watching. Right up at 2 Stack Jacks. I gotta keep my eyes peeled in case they're mixing cars. They got Volkswagens down here, Volvos down the other end, but you never know when they mix them up. Gotta pay attention. Convertible butt. Woohoo! Now I'm looking for a key set for a wagon. I need all 5 key points. So I might have to buy a wagon. I lost one while I was out of town. But I'm keeping my eyes peeled in case one drops at the yard that's got a key. I'm going to take all 5 of those points. I'm down here today getting a latch for my friend Betsy. Got some sobs. Trying to keep them organized. And around the Lexuses now. Oh, a Range Rover. This place is usually overwhelmed with mosquitoes, but I hadn't seen any yet. See what happens when I quit moving. There goes some 850s down there, boy. We got an NA with a key. Look at that, 2 keys in that ignition. I might have to come get this for Lucille. Let me get up here, get this NA block off plate off of this NA, and see what else I can find decent. Glove box door is missing. That makes this kind of stink for a key set. It's a 93 or a 94 automatic transmission. Wow. XC90 was bashed in the back. Let me keep this moving. This wagon has a key and appears to have all the parts. Both door latches, trunk latch, floor latch is flipped down under there. Glove box door key. So I might grab this one. Let me keep looking. I need a latch. Door latch, Robert. Don't forget about the door latch. I'm not going to get this today. I don't have time. I'll come back in a couple days. I need to get some business taken care of today. But this is a 95. That's the car I want to get that door latch in if it's still there. That blue one, man. That thing just keeps on giving. I think this is a turbo. Yes, a 99 turbo. Might take the head off of this one, get it rebuilt for Byron's car, so when we go to swap Byron's cylinder head, we'll have a head ready to drop on. It'll be a day process instead of a couple days. Volvo thermostat 2011. I need a new thermostat for Panther. I think I got one. I need to check that out. Woo wee, look at that big spider. What's up, Spidey? Man, you're in a bad place. A replacement door latch. That's kind of hard to find. So that's a good win. It's got a 2012 date on it. It looked new. So it should work, unlock, and everything else for her. I'm going to be working on a Dodge Dakota, trying to get the hood open. My understanding is the cable is smooth broke off. So needs a new cable. The thing's got to be routed in through the inside of the truck. But the big thing is getting to this hood latch. Man, I don't even know. Probably the best thing is going to be to get in the grill and take those two, it looks like 12mm bolts loose to release that top mechanism from the hood so that this stuff can be opened up, and then deal with this latch. So this has two 10mm there. So I take these two off, and the latch is off from the car. And that's how the cable's through there. It's got a little spring on there, another spring on there, but let me see if I can get this cable out. Looks like it just hooks out pretty easy. This little spring is in the way a little bit of me pushing it down and through there. Let me try to get some slack on it and unhook it. I jerked it off of there, so it looks like I broke that. I'm gonna go to another salvage yard where it's easy to access these cars and try to get a cable out of there and get this thing replaced. Came out to a yard a little more friendly. Took this pry bar, stuck it in between the cable, pushed it off of there. Then sometimes you can get this thing to jiggle right out of there. See if I could work that out of there. There it is. Now I need to route it under here where it goes and into the car. Pull it through. Got a little clip there. Work that out. You can prime down or squeeze them in with a needle nose pliers and get them all the way out into the car. Come inside the car. Got a couple Phillips screws holding that up there. Remove those. It appears that this cable comes with this handle. So you want to go ahead and after you take the handle loose, leave the cable attached and pull the whole thing through the firewall. Let's see if we can figure out where it goes through at. Look like it goes through behind this brake booster. Yep, right through that hole there. So you want to take these clips off of here and pull that thing through there. You'll be good to go. One of the things that can cause your vehicle to overheat is the engine fan. Now this engine fan is programmed through the computer to cut on when the engine coolant temperature gets to a certain temperature. In this particular vehicle, it's 216 degrees Fahrenheit. Some of these other vehicles, it's 224 degrees Fahrenheit. At any rate, it's programmed to cut this fan on before the coolant boils and overheats the engine. When the boiling occurs, that's when the pressure inside the engine builds up so much that it causes the cylinder head to warp, or when it gets too hot, starts blowing radiators, heater cores, coolant hoses, and stuff like that. So you don't want your engine coolant temperature to get to boiling point, and this fan keeps that from happening. Now the fan usually cuts on 2 times. 1, when that temperature gets a certain degree, and 2, when you're running the AC. So most of these fans are 2-step fans, which means 2 speeds. I'm going to show you how to test this fan if you can't get it to come on with the engine running. So usually you start the engine, let the engine run 10-15 minutes. The fan will cut on by itself because the coolant gets that hot. But if it's not cutting on, this is a way you could jump power straight to it and see if the fan is working. In a lot of vehicles, these fans have the ability to cut on even if the engine's not running. If that temperature sensor sends it a signal saying that the coolant temperature is too hot, it'll cut the fan on even when the car is sitting static. So some of these cars, these things will run with the engine off if it's too hot. Sometimes I've driven cars up mountains, get to the top of the mountain, climbing the mountains cause the engine to get hot. I park the car, 4 or 5 minutes later the fan cuts on because the engine oil temperature heated the coolant temperature up high enough to trigger the fan. So anyway, most of these fans have a relay. On this car, the relay's here, and your power leads are those two there, that red and that green, and this pink connection is the ground to the fan. So with the ground to the fan being plugged in, I should be able to put power to this red and this green wire, which plugs in there, and that should activate the fan. This is power going to the relay. This may be live at all times, and this may be signal wires that will signal to it to cut the fan on. Now, this plug here, I can unplug this, and this is running power, or once that relay is activated, it'll send power down to the fan. So I'm going to unplug this here and jump this harness here. Well, it might be a good thing I poked around here, because just pulling this out, 2 of the signal wires came apart. One of them's broke, probably to signal when the AC's on. The other one's broke or pulled right out of the connector. So I need to fix that, make sure this fan works. So here are 2 wires, a red and a green. Not sure which one's high speed, which one's low, but I'm going to take a wire and apply power to it directly from the battery. So let me take this wire. You see how thick that gauge is? Probably should use thicker wire. And heck, it looks like, but I'm only doing it for temporary. Shouldn't run long enough to make it hot. Let me get this on here so you can see if it activates the fan. Well, it might be a good thing I poked around here, because just pulling this out, 2 of the signal wires came apart. One of them's broke, probably to signal when the AC's on. The other one's broke or pulled right out of the connector. So I need to fix that, make sure this fan works. So here are 2 wires, a red and a green. Not sure which one's high speed, which one's low, but I'm going to take a wire and apply power to it directly from the battery. So let me take this wire. You see how thick that gauge is? Probably should use thicker wire. And heck, it looks like, but I'm only doing it for temporary. Shouldn't run long enough to make it hot. Let me get this on here so you can see if it activates the fan. So I took what appears to be 16 gauge wire. I stripped the ends off. I'm going to push this wire down here in this connector so that it makes contact in there. And then I'm going to touch the other end to the battery and see if the fan cuts on. So I got this in there. Let me put that in there a little better. I have the wire jammed in the red side. I'm going to take this over here and touch it on the battery post, and this fan should cut on. Up, I'm a little shorter than I need to be. Let me see if I can pull the wire over a little bit. Or I'm going to have to go get a longer wire. You can touch this wire to any source of 12 volts. This is what I choose to do. Come on, just a little bit further. And the fan came on. So I know the fan's working. Now I'm going to put it in that other hole and see if the fan comes on to a faster speed. This seems like a slower speed. So the green wire is the slow speed, the red wire is the faster speed, but I know that fan is working. Let me get this other connection over here fixed, get this back together, and I'll be done with the test. These wires lost their insulation, and Swedish Car Parts sell these, so I'm going to order a couple from Swedish Car Parts next time I order anything from them, and get these spliced in properly and separated. So let me go ahead and stick these wires through here plug them in, and then I'll have them separated at least until I get the insulated wire ends. If you feel that this information was useful, please like it and share it with your social media friends. You can subscribe to my channel so that you will get notifications of future videos that I post. You can follow me on Twitter, and if you need to contact me directly, please visit my website. And if you have any questions, leave them below, and someone or myself will reply to them. Again, thank you very much for watching.